as a first-time mom, they literally give you this human. It's like, here, go off, go forth, be a mom. They're like, okay, I'm just gonna give myself grace. I'm a mom. I gave birth. It is what it is. You gonna get whatever body I got this summer. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ray. I'm so happy you're here. Postpartum. Let's talk about it. Now, my goal for this video is to make it through this video without crying. So here we go. Hopefully you all got a chance to watch my labor and delivery video, which was the last video I posted. I feel like you could get a lot from that video. I went in depth about my whole labor experience because it was intense, it was scary, it was painful, it was traumatic, it was all of those things. As I said in that video, I was in the hospital for 5 days. 5 days. Now, being in the hospital after the baby is born, I can definitely say that moms, in my experience, moms do not get enough attention. That was just my experience. Now, mind you, everyone that I encountered at the hospital was very sweet, very kind. But after the baby was born, I just feel like, especially as a first-time mom, I wasn't given the amount of attention that I thought that I would. You know, this is a whole new frontier, so I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel after giving birth. And it was kind of scary. Well, no, it was very scary because immediately after giving birth, I experienced intense swelling. So I was swollen from the waist all the way down to my feet, and swollen so badly that like I didn't even recognize my body at all. I am 7 weeks postpartum, and I'm finally at a place where I felt like I could do this video. I needed some time because I definitely experienced a lot. If you have not gotten a chance to watch my labor and delivery video, please watch it, because I give you the straight up, with no chaser story of what happened to me and what I experienced. So after going through that, I needed some time. I needed some time before I could really sit down and do this video. I have always been a person that, you know, you see and hear things about postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, and just saw all the troubles that women go through in postpartum. And I never thought it would be something that I would ever experience. I was always made to believe like that it's all in your head. And it just depends on the type of person that you are, whether or not you can handle stress and things like that. And I'm used to handling stress and big life changes. So I never thought I would experience postpartum depression, anxiety, or anything like that until I actually started going through postpartum. And I can tell you that it's real. While I was pregnant, my intention was always to breastfeed my baby. That's something that I've always wanted to do, just because of the bonding that breastfeeding is supposed to bring. My expectation in my mind was that after the baby was born, that this would just start working. Like, your body knows you just had a baby and milk should just start flowing. That is not what happened at all. They had to send a lactation specialist to see me while I was in the hospital, and she just told me to just keep pumping, even though nothing was coming out, but just to keep pumping. And to be honest with you, not being able to produce any breast milk definitely, as a woman, can make you feel inadequate, because in that moment you really feel like this is something that as a woman your body should be able to naturally do. But I didn't realize until I of course started looking into it and talking to other women that it doesn't really happen like that. It doesn't always happen where your body just automatically just starts producing or even producing a lot. So I was not able to produce breast milk for like almost 2 weeks before it started flowing. I just was determined I was not going to give up. I wasn't going to give up. But the fact that it wasn't happening right away, that started making me feel depressed. Now I'm 7 weeks postpartum, and I still maybe could get half an ounce in one sitting. And yeah, it definitely weighs on you as a mom. If you're a mom that like really wants to breastfeed, it weighs on you when your milk production is so low or non-existent. If you are experiencing something like that, take it from me, it's gonna be okay. It's okay. Sometimes it just doesn't happen the way you think it should. That doesn't make you inadequate. And I had to come to a point where I realized that, and I spoke that to myself, and I'm okay now. I'm okay with it now. I can say when they send you home from the hospital after having your baby, they do not give women enough attention and preparation. Now, they will give you a folder about this thick, full of paperwork that says, oh, if you're feeling this way, read this pamphlet. If you're feeling that way, read this pamphlet. If you feel this way, I want you to call this phone number. And it's just like, I'm not going to sit down and read all this. I would prefer if somebody just came and talked to me. Like, hey, mama, this is going to happen. This may happen. You may hurt here and you may hurt here, and you may be swollen for this time, and your breast may feel like this, and your baby may do that. And like, it would be better if they had people that came to actually like talk to you, like a nurse, to sit down and be like, hey, I just want to talk to you, see how you're feeling. Do you have any questions for me? Like, take time out with the mothers, not send you home with like a pamphlet or a book of paperwork. Like, no. So when I was being released from the hospital, all they pretty much said was no sex for 6 weeks and don't lift anything heavier than the baby. That's it. And if you're in intense pain, call your doctor. Do you know that I didn't even know that I could call my doctor's office after hours? I thought that, you know, if I needed to talk to my doctor, that I needed to wait till office hours. It wasn't until I got into intense pain one night that I'm like, I'm gonna call. They have to have some kind of answering service. And that's when I realized that you can call the doctor's office at any time, and they have an answering service, and whichever doctor is on call that night, you can speak to almost immediately. I didn't even know that. So it's a lot of things that they don't tell you when they release you from the hospital. And I think that's sad. And it's very daunting because as a first-time mom, they literally give you this human. It's like, here, go off, go forth, be a mom. They're like, okay. Coming home from the hospital, I was so swollen still. I've experienced that intense swelling for 2.5 weeks. Yeah. And after you come home, your baby has to go to the doctor within 3 days of being born. That's what they want. They want to see the baby within 3 days of being born. So 3 days after coming home from the hospital, I have to go to the doctor with him, completely swollen, completely in pain. I could not fit any of my shoes. I could barely put on sweatpants. I had to wear my man's clothes and his shoes, and I could barely fit my swollen feet into his shoes. As women, we always want to feel beautiful and sexy and all those things that we felt before having a baby, but being completely swollen, being in pain, and feeling, I really felt disfigured. It weighs on your emotional state. It does. It really does. Couldn't fit any shoes for 2 weeks, and I had to go back and forth to the doctor with my son. And I was leaving out of the house looking crazy, whatever I could piece together out of my man's wardrobe. At one point during your healing process, you may have a day like I did where I felt like I was okay, like I was straight, Like I was still sore, but I wasn't like having a whole bunch of like crazy pain that day. So I'm like, I'm okay. Maybe it's a good idea for me to get out of the house. How about let's do like a family shopping day? And when I tell you, that was such a mistake. In your mind, you may feel like you're ready to resume your normal activities, like walking around shopping. You're not. In my head, I was like, oh, I'm feeling great. I'm just a little sore, but I'm feeling good. Like I'm up to doing a little shopping, a little walking, and my body was like, girl, what? I made it to two stores, and I was sitting in the back seat of the car with the baby. And my body was like, you have made a mistake. I was only 8 days postpartum, and I had taken myself on out to the suburbs and was like, let's do some shopping. I need to get out of this house. I need to clear my head. Let's walk. No. When I tell you, my pelvis was on fire. My pelvis was on fire, and I was sitting in that back seat sweating because I was in so much pain. I told my man, we have to go home. We have to go home. Take it from me. Give yourself time. Even if in your head you feel like, oh, I'm good, I think I'm ready. No, you are not ready, especially if it's your first baby, if it's your first time around. Give your body time, because it just went through the most intense thing that you could possibly go through. I was in so much pain that I had to call the doctor's office. Now, when they send you home from the hospital, they will give you a prescription for some kind of pain medication. They gave me ibuprofen. I don't remember which milligram it is. And I was taking those like every couple of hours. But that night, it was so crazy. Like the pain was so intense that I was in tears. So I called the doctor's office maybe around 11 o'clock at night and was like, I'm in so much pain. Is there anything else that you can give me? Like at this point, I'm like, can you give me some perks? Can I have some oxy, something? Like give me the most intense pain medication that I can take, because I am hurting so badly. The doctor told me to take Tylenol extra strength on top of the ibuprofen. Take 2 Tylenol. So my crazy self, I took 2 ibuprofen and I took 2 Tylenol extra strength. The milligrams that I had taken that night in one sitting added up to like 1,800 milligrams. And when I tell you, I was so high that night, I felt like I was floating above the couch. I was like high and numb. Like I could not even feel my body. My heart was racing. I was scared. I was like, I think maybe I made a mistake. Maybe she meant take the extra strength Tylenol after I don't know. I felt like I had did something wrong. I definitely felt like I overdosed on pain medication that night, and I had been scared to do that ever since. A huge part of the postpartum depression that I was experiencing was a form of PTSD from labor. I would have these moments of just crying, just out of the blue, just crying for no reason. Nothing happened to me, but I would start having like flashbacks of my labor. Like if you watch my labor and delivery video, you know I really went through something, and I was having flashbacks of those moments of labor, and I would just start crying, and it was just like that was definitely a big part of my postpartum depression. I feel like I had really been put through something, and I was having the hardest time forgetting it or getting through it. So after I had my son, I was like, this is it. I don't know if I can do this again. I don't know if I want to have more children, and I have always wanted to have a large family, at least 3 or 4 kids. Yeah, but after what I went through in labor and then the postpartum part, I don't know, like it would have to be God's will for me to have another child at this point. I love my son, and I do not regret any of the things that I experienced, labor and postpartum. He is such a blessing, but to be willing to do it again, I don't know, girl. I don't know. One of the most painful symptoms that I experienced during postpartum was going to the bathroom. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I have to be completely open and honest with you all, because like I said, I feel like the things that we experience during postpartum needs to be talked about, because I may say something that you are experiencing, or you just may be curious about. Maybe you're about to give birth to your first baby, and you want some kind of idea of what to expect, because I had no idea what to expect. So I'm trying to just be honest and open with you guys. I hope that's okay. I hope that's okay. If this is too much for you, girl, I get it, but somebody out there needs to hear this. Going to the bathroom was one of the most painful parts of my healing process, aside from the pelvic pain. Now, I did not tear, thank God. So I didn't have any stitches or anything like that I was trying to heal from, but I had abrasions, bad abrasions. So again, I'm sorry, this is a little graphic. So going to the bathroom with abrasions down there, when I tell you, when I tell you that the pain was so intense that my body would literally start shaking. Like I would shiver, like I was freezing. I was shivering because the pain was so intense just trying to go to the bathroom. Pain was so intense that I would try to avoid going to the bathroom altogether. Like I would literally hold it as long as I could. If we left the house, I would literally pray that I did not have to go to the bathroom while we were out, because there was no way. I didn't want to be in a public restroom crying. I experienced this pain for almost 2 weeks. Can you picture like almost 2 weeks just being terrified to go to the bathroom? There are certain products that help alleviate it a little bit. And without those products, I don't know what I would have done. I probably would have went back to the emergency room. I plan to do a video about what my favorite postpartum products are that help me heal and help me get through like the most painful parts of the healing process. So that's in the works. I will be recording that video soon. One of the other things that I experienced that I feel like I've heard a lot of women say is feeling like the baby doesn't like you. I've definitely said it more than once. I don't think that my baby likes me, because it seemed like when he was with his dad, when he's hanging out with his dad, everything's chill. He can like be in his bassinet and his dad can move freely around, and he's not screaming and crying and falling out and all that other stuff with his dad. But as soon as he is alone with me, it's like all hell breaks loose. And I could not understand, like, is this something that I was doing wrong? Why doesn't my baby seem to like me? I have come to realize that the reason why your baby may act out with you and cry more with you is because your mom. I have literally had days where my man would be at work and it seemed like nothing I did could stop my son from screaming and crying every time he could not see me or every time I would put him down. It seemed like my son never wants to give me a break or never wanted to give me a break. It's gotten a lot better where I couldn't take a shower. I couldn't get dressed. It takes me hours to just take a shower and get dressed if I'm alone with him, because the moment he can't see me, he just screams. Yeah, but coming to realize that your baby may act differently with you versus his dad because you're his mom. He wants to be attached to you. That's just it. He knows only you for the first 9 months of existence. And now he's outside of you and he does not understand. Things do get better with time. Like I said, I'm only 7 weeks postpartum, and I definitely still have my days where I struggle and I cry for absolutely no reason, and that's okay. But I can say things have gotten better, and part of that is coming up with some sort of routine for my everyday. I'm currently a stay-at-home mom, which is something that I've always wanted. If I'm home by myself with the baby, like the days where my man has to work, I have a routine, and it has helped me. And I will go into my routine more in depth. If it'll help somebody, please let me know. But I have a routine so that I can get up and brush my teeth I can shower, I can get dressed, I can get downstairs, feed the baby, put the baby down for his nap, and have time for myself to feed myself, maybe to read, maybe to just scroll on social media, like to take a nap. I have a routine and I have different methods that I use to soothe him. I know when he's sleepy, I know when he's hungry, when he needs to be changed. Knowing all of that, like my mom calls it, learning the baby, has helped. One of the biggest things that I'm struggling with now in my postpartum season is the weight gain. Before I got pregnant, I was like maybe 5 pounds away from my goal weight. Now I'm up like 40 pounds. Yeah, like 40 pounds. And I'm struggling. But I just realized yesterday that I'm not even 60 days postpartum, and my mom and my friends who have kids and my man are just like, the weight is gonna come off, like stop being hard on yourself. And they're absolutely right. I know it's hard to hear it coming from people outside of you that things are gonna get better, things are all right, you're gonna lose the weight. It's hard to hear it from people on the outside because it really doesn't matter what anybody else says. You feel how you feel. And that's okay. And people around you need to give you grace, need to be patient with you and allow you to talk through those emotions because it's needed. It's really needed. Yesterday I went to a birthday party with a bunch of other moms, and just talking to all the other moms about, you know, my labor, my postpartum, and hearing their stories, it really helped. It really helped. I feel like I'm now a part of this community of women who have similar experiences that we can share and lean on each other, and we don't even really know each other. Our connection is that we're all moms. So if you are dealing with postpartum depression, anxiety, and you feel like you are really low and really struggling, I'm telling you, find some other moms to talk to. I'm a mom. You can talk to me. I talk to people all the time on my TikTok. I talk to a ton of moms on TikTok. You guys can comment on here, or you can message me on Instagram. Like, I love talking to other moms because it's helping me to help you. Listen, mamas, it's gonna get better. We gonna get through this. I'm gonna drop the weight eventually, but for now, I'm just gonna give myself grace. I'm a mom. I gave birth. It is what it is. You gonna get whatever body I got this summer, and that's just gonna be what it is. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm still healing. That's okay. Hope that something that I said helps somebody. And if you are going through the same things, or you know somebody that's going through the same things, please message me, because like I said, I love talking to moms. Like, I seriously love talking to moms. We need to have a community. We need to continue to build on our community where we can be open and honest with each other, because you don't know, just talking to somebody, how much it can help someone heal. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Can't focus on me.